Opposed, no. All right. We will add a resolution number 5. Is there anything else?
Audience participation, once again, as in last meeting, we had a request just yesterday from someone wishing to add an item to the agenda. Tammy Kleindens asked to be added with the topic of council candidate involvement. Again, according to your rules of procedure, items of business not on the agenda may be considered by the council and placed on the agenda by a majority vote of the council members present.
Do I have a motion?
Make you aware of that.
Move to approve.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we add Tammy Kleinens to our audience participation agenda portion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right. Tammy, it looks like the floor is yours.
Well, I want to say thank you for your consideration in allowing me to speak on such short notice. I really appreciate it. I have a concern with the poor voter turnout in the primary elections that were just recently held. And I realize that this could be a typical trend in the primaries, but I've been pondering ever since as to how can we reach the citizens of Wellington and how can we inspire and motivate them to have their voice. Many people, due to inflated costs of living, may not have the ability to afford the internet. With the multiple Facebook candidate pages, various posts, and etc., these may go largely unnoticed by many citizens. The forums are very helpful. However, the attendance wasn't a significant one. Several meet and greets were set up at the Senior Center, Wheat Festival, and individual candidate outreach. There are multiple media coverages, Channel 55, Wellington Daily News, Southern News Cow, Robert Hamilton's videotapings, but all through this, there was still a poor voter turnout. All of our goals in this room to serve the people of Wellington. Every single one of you and the candidates that are here have that goal. All of us seek to step forward, win or lose. The leadership and the service spirit, it can't be denied, it's there. So the pondering has continued. And until the wee hours of yesterday morning, I had this idea, and I really wanted to share it with you. I have a proposal for a new and innovative approach that could be a step forward in motivation and inspiration of our Wellington citizens to vote and register. And Shane was so gracious to talk to me yesterday, so I apologize for being late. Between September 1st to November 7th, there's approximately 5 city council meetings, plus the designated work sessions. This proposal is multi-pronged, and I have several different reasons why I think this is a good idea. 1, I think it will educate voters and give them information. 2, I'm hoping it would motivate voters to register and to vote. And a huge demonstration to the public of a new and innovative collaborative force that will inspire Wellington citizens to become more involved. And I'm hoping that they will see this collaborative effort on the part of the city and wanting to make changes. It won't cost you anything either, so this is one of the things that I really like about it. I don't know if my proposal has been done anywhere else or not, but I'd like to look at that piece of it as Wellington could lead a new path for other small struggling communities to follow. We can make this work, and we can create a template that may be success for us as well as others. Okay, so what is it? I get that. I'm saving the best for last.
Okay, the grand finale.
I propose that the city council meetings and work sessions that are slated to take place between September 1st to November 7th to include the city council candidates and the surrounding issues being discussed. I believe there needs to be very, very specific rules of participation that need to be followed. The time allowance for the meetings that take place all the time still need to stay in place without this particular proposal distracting from the official business. So I made up some rules. Rule number 1, no campaigning or platform speeches. Number 2, only 1 question per session. As we receive the council agenda packets, each candidate should be reviewing that. and they should be studying those and develop one question to ask. Short and simple. Rule number 3, when official votes are being taken, when you guys are doing your roll call votes, I think an unofficial poll vote of each of the candidates to be included and taken in voice, with a yes or a no only. If any of the rules are fractured by a candidate, then that candidate will need to leave the meeting or step down back into the audience seating and lose that collaborative moment. At the work sessions, the candidates should be seated in a designated area, and if questions are presented from you guys to the candidates, then only then could they answer. I think this allows a collaborative spirit of teamwork. After all, 3 of those 6 candidates will be seated in those chairs in a few months. So I think we need to learn if they're informed, interactive, if they're engaging, and if they have team-building skills in their approaches. Finally, this proposal will have a start date of September 1st. The candidates would all need to be in agreement with the expectations designated by you guys. I propose at the next City August Council meeting to vote on this in order to implement the new approach in September. Overall, this initiative would demonstrate to the citizens of Wellington which candidates are passionate about a true level of commitment to serve the people. I know it's an out-of-the-box type of thinking idea, but you never know till you try. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. I think we need to build a bridge of change, and I think this is a way to do it. It won't cost anything to do it, but the expectations have to be stringent because we can't allow for time things to go into a different direction because you guys have official business to do. So the goal of this proposal is to increase community awareness, motivate the citizens of Wellington to become informed of their elected representatives through this collaborative effort between the current elected officials and the current candidates facing the general elections in November. So thank you for this time and allowing me to present on such short notice. And I have something here that's just a one-page kind of summary of all of this for you guys.
Perfect. Go ahead, yeah, please bring those up. All right, anybody have any questions or comments they want to share? Mr. Valentine.
Well, Tammy kind of stole my thunder there, some of it, but I was going to bring this up in council correspondence, but I won't. I too was a little odd at the low turnout, voter turnout. I don't know what seemed to be the problem, and I hope it wasn't apathy or complacency. But I will say this to all of the candidates that ran and those that won. You were all winners by just competing, regardless of how you came out in this. It showed that obviously something is stirring you. But I would say this to the 6 of you that are going to be in the November countdown. I would say this to you. I hope and pray that you don't have a special agenda other than the health, safety, and welfare of the people of this community, because that is the top priority, the top, the middle, and the bottom line. And I want to thank you all for doing what you did. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Anyone else?
Is there any legal guidance for reason this would not be permissible?
I'm looking at this for the first time, and I think some of it probably is not any legal impediments like the agendas and the council packets of the public record. As far as how we coordinate participation in the meeting, we'll have to look. I don't have I need a chance to look at it and see what
Right.
the rules of order allow and don't allow.
Right.
The questioning, obviously, we have public comment that's allowed. But as far as any kind of informal vote, I'm trying to figure out in my head how that would even work and fall within our rules.
And maybe that's something that might have to be amended or
I think
omitted.
give me a chance.
Okay, yes.
And I think a lot of it could be done, but
Yeah.
there's a few things that may not be.
Okay, well, I too want to say thank you to Tammy for being so organized and trying to increase, voter participation. It's just one of those things that, well, my dad always said, and probably a lot of other dads said this, that if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. So That's just how I was raised, and I registered to vote as soon as I turned 18, and I take it very seriously. Proposing such a, like you said, an out-of-the-box way of thinking, and those kind of things, sometimes you just never know if you might have the next brilliant idea, and I think it's pretty awesome. So we'll give our city attorney a chance to look it over, look at the legalities, and see if we can come up with something that will keep us legal, but yet inform our voters. So thank you. All right. Any other things? Nope. All right. Well, then we will move on to our consent agenda, and that includes our approval of minutes, appropriations, and receipt of council correspondence. Do I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Mrs. Cordy. Councilmember
What is it?
Bennett, would you like?
Time I open this
Here,
thing.
give it to me first.
It's got the,
I know, but
it's got the,
you want me to fix it for
I'm
you?
gonna throw it out the window.
No. Jeremy, will you please go help him or somebody?
You have any agenda so that you can throw it out the window?
Oh, Lordy. We're gonna wait on Mr. We don't have a quorum if we go, right? Yeah, I have to wait for him. Oh, we do? Oh, okay, never mind then. Okay, do I have a second? All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve our consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Do I need to recode it?
I think Vince is now watching the George Foreman Grill total infomercial right now. All right. Under reports of mayor and council, I'll go ahead and start with Mrs. Hawley's, and so we can prolong Vince's.
I have one.
All right. Mrs. Cordy, please say something.
Say something. It comes to the time. But I like Kelly's hair.
Yes, I know. She's
I always notice people's hair.
well, very good. All right. Way to stall. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Mr. Buds.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment about the elections a couple weeks ago. Congratulations to all the people who ran, especially those who won in the primaries. On to work between now and November. Congratulations and wish you well. As far as my little part of that last election, I'd like to offer my congratulations and best of luck to Kay and Glynis on the trustee seat for Catholic College. I just ask that they both respectfully represent the city of Wellington, and as much as we're going to be front on the cost of this entire project, and I'm sure they will, I'm sure they understand that. So congratulations to both of them. Good luck.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Valentine.
I see that the street department's out, or Jeremy and the guys are out repainting the crosswalks for the schools. I think they're moving right along with that, looking real good. I also noticed a project up on Harding. The drains look exceptionally good. I don't know how well you're getting along with the gas company, but I suppose all good things have their time. And like I said earlier, I was going to comment on the election turnout, but I already commented on that, so I have nothing further to say about that. And the rumor that I locked it up with a mountain lion east of town, yes, Mr. Woodrow, it got to me today, is totally false. I did see a mountain lion, but he kept his distance and I kept mine. So I'm still here. That's all I have, thank you.
That's pretty awesome. All right, how's that, Mr. Wetta?
I don't have any.
All right. To be honest, I know this is probably going to shock everyone, but I really don't have anything to add either, so we'll just go ahead and move on. Okay, reports of city officials. Our first item is League of Kansas Municipalities voting delegates.
Yes, we are coming soon. The actual meeting this year is September 16th through 18th. And so far, we have Shane attending. I don't know who else is going to, but we need to know who would go and who would be. We have 3 voting positions and 3 alternates that we need to elect.
Can you say the dates again?
September 16th through 18th. in Wichita.
That came out to you a few weeks ago in the league publication. I mean, we do need to know if any of you are going to attend so we can submit that. As she said, 3 voting delegates and 3 alternates you have the opportunity to appoint. I mean, nothing says you have to or you don't have to appoint that many. That's entirely up to you. So if any of you are going to attend the early bird registration, I believe they call it, Lester fee is, deadline is the end of, before September 1st. So.
Any volunteers?
I can do the 16th and the 17th, but I will not be able to do the 18th through the 18th.
They have single day registration. It is, by the time you do 2 single day registrations, the full conference registration is the lesser of the 2. So.
Okay. Well, I'm doing the city to, as a matter of fact, I need to let you know that. So the 16th through the 18th through the 20th is the city to city exchange that the Wichita Chamber does, and I am going as a representative of REAP. So I will be gone the 18th through the 20th, but I don't mind going one of those days or both on the 16th and 17th. Okay, so. Do I go? I don't know. Okay, so, or maybe Mr. Eder might be able to take one of the days as well. So, but we have up to 3 options.
You do 6.
Oh, we can do 6.
You have the opportunity to appoint 3 voting delegates and 3 alternates.
Okay. Well, and that can include staff and everyone as well.
Yes.
So, okay. All right, well, with it being in Wichita, I think we, what's that? I don't know, can we send candidates? I'm gonna guess no.
Easy, Bill.
Well, it would be a higher fee. I mean, this is for members of the.
Right. Okay, we'll keep it at that this time. All right, well, so with that being said, we'll have Mrs. Hawley check her schedule. We'll check with Mr. Eddard. No one else?
I'm a possibility.
Oh, Bill is a possibility.
We need to know by the 25th, so at our special meeting, could we find out?
Yep, how about on the 22nd, we'll check in. Okay, but I'm a sure thing on the 16th and 17th. Okay. Anything else under reports of city officials?
The only other 2 items I was going to mention in your council correspondence, just to be sure you noticed and maybe point out to you, the correspondence from the KDOT, Kansas Department of Transportation, regarding the federal fund exchange program. They notified us, I notified everyone across the state that was going to change. They're reducing the exchange from 90% to 75% for beginning in fiscal year 2018. That would impact us if the amount stays about the same as it has a couple of years. That would reduce our exchange dollars by around $14,000. So just to make you aware of that. The other item was the memo on the Harvey Street Improvement Project. Councilmember Valentine mentioned that. I believe Director Jones was going to give you a brief update on that, where that is beginning.
We don't really have a date for sure pinned down on beginning that project. The gas company is in there. A few weeks ago, they got a copy of the plans and they noticed some lines that were possibly in conflict, so they are moving those as they've worked in that area, doing some new service lining. They found a couple other locations. They're trying to get crews scheduled in to get those taken care of as quickly as possible. They just finished up one project in that location. Another one they hope to begin Monday, and then if they have a second crew, they will do another project in there simultaneously. If not, they'll go basically back to back. Tentatively right now, after talking with the contractor, Wednesday next week, a week from tomorrow, is when they will start putting up signs and closing Harvey off between Ash and Woodlawn. And they should be able to do some work even if the gas company's in there. And they can both work at the same time. And as soon as gas company's done, Pearson will have control of the entire site. That'll get this moving along fairly quickly. They're pretty confident that, weather permitting, if we don't have any problems, that they should be in and out of there well within the October 15th or 16th date that they have. I think it's going to be a fairly quick project, providing we don't get a lot of rain at the wrong time. So we are, Friday we notified each household with flyers, went door to door. We're having conversation with them and then some other entities in town, just making sure that we're covering bases and everybody has somewhat access to their properties.
Okay. Yes, Mrs. Ford.
I was asked by a citizen if the gas company is supposed to return the streets to their original condition. There was a hole dug in their street in front of the mailbox, and the gas company put rock in it, and nothing yet. So, aren't they supposed to return it to the
Yes.
original condition?
Yes, and we're, with changes in personnel basically on both sides, we're trying to get those relationships solidified again, and they are putting rock in those, and then they will come back and put asphalt in them. If anyone has a hole out there that they feel has been there too long, if they could give us a call, we'll be happy to get a hold of the gas company, water, whoever, and see if we can't get that taken care of.
I'm not sure how long it's been there, but and I know they have to let it settle for a while until you have the hole. And I'll pass that on. Thanks.
All right. Anything else? All right, moving on. We have no public hearing tonight and no ordinances, so we'll get right to our resolutions. And the first one being a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a grant offer agreement from the Federal Aviation Administration for the Airport Improvement Program project for Wellington Municipal Airport.
As your, first of all, airport manager Weeby is present tonight, although most of this took place before he was on board. So I will probably cover most of the explanation, and certainly he's here though if you have any questions maybe about the airport or anything current. Everything on the agenda tonight, the 5 resolutions all relate to the airport project. The one single memo in your packet kind of explains the details. The first, this resolution is the FAA grant offer. It is for the $2,485,921, contrary to their press release they put out. It was, this is the full amount that was out, the application was for. The other, well, I won't get into the other items because we'll do one at a time, but this is simply the FAA grant offer that is the final step. You simply need to approve this final offer from the FAA.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution authorizing our city manager to execute this grant offer agreement from the FAA for the Airport Improvement Program for our wonderful Wellington Airport. Madam Clerk?
Mrs. Hawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy?
Yes.
Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Wetta?
Yes.
5 affirmative votes, and that makes resolution 5833.
Our next resolution is one authorizing the city manager to sign supplemental agreement number 2 for improvements to Wellington Municipal Airport with H.W. Lochner for FAA AIP project number a lot.
Lochner is our engineering consultant for the airport projects. I mean, has been for, I think, a 5-year period now. Knowing that the grant was awarded, offered, this included some additional design changes in the process. That's what this agreement is. Again, this is covered under the grant for the most part. This is simply the supplemental agreement for those design services.
All right, do I have a motion and a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution authorizing our city manager to sign the supplemental agreement number 2 with Lochner, H.W. Lochner for the airport project. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Wetta?
Yes.
Mrs. Hawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy?
Yes.
Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Again, 5 affirmative votes for Resolution 5834.
All right, our third resolution is one accepting an airport federal share match agreement from the Kansas Department of Transportation Division of Aviation to extend runway 1735 and construct related improvements for the airport project, Wellington Airport.
This is one of the KDOT grant offers. This is the one we initially knew about probably October of last year, I believe, sometime late in the fall, of where they offered. This was 5% of the total grant, or total project at that point, with the estimate it was $140,000, I believe. It's been slightly adjusted based upon the bids that were received, because the project was a little bit lower than expected. $138,107. That, along with the next item, you have to consider the other grant from the KDOT. That will leave the city cost for this project at $207,131. That is the cost after both KDOT grants and the FAA grant for the total project.
All right. Motion?
I move to do that.
Okay.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve a resolution accepting an airport federal share match from the Kansas Department of Transportation to extend the runway and construct related improvements for the municipal airport project. Madam Clerk? Yes.
This includes sewer and the whole thing.
Yes, this is the runway extension project, including the extension of the city sewer to the airport, the demolition of the lagoons.
This is why I want to bring it up.
Yeah.
We're going to spend $217,000.
207.
207. Do away with the lagoons and the birds and all the problems. We're looking at $800,000. So this is a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah. It's a heck of a
For-
deal.
To extend the runway, to do away with the lagoons, to
Yeah.
have sewer access, we're only going to spend $207,000, where if we don't do this, we're going to have to spend $800,000 on the lagoons alone.
Yes, Mr. Valentine.
And maybe Jeremy can answer this, or maybe Shane can. Is it not true that by 2020, the lagoons are going to have to be gone anyway, according to the state?
I won't say 2020, but I do know KDHE had increasingly encouraged us that we would have to address the lagoon issue. Director Newberry was aware of those details and had contact with KDHE, but they were becoming an issue and were going to have to be addressed, yes.
I know they're removing them on the turnpike already, so. That's all I have, thank you.
Okay. Yes. Yes, that's right. Right. Mr. Levy, do you know what we are about the lagoons or anything, or have you heard anything about that? Okay. Okay, just checking. No. I do believe it's better to get rid of them, and like Mr. Wetta said, it's a heck of a deal. All right. Where was I? Oh, yes. I need a roll call vote.
Mrs. Holly?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy?
Yes.
Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Wetta?
Yes.
5 affirmative votes for Resolution 5835.
All right, our next resolution also is about accepting an airport modernization agreement from the Kansas Department of Transportation Division of Aviation to construct airport utility improvements for the project for the Wellington Municipal Airport.
This is the second KDOT grant offer or award that we knew early this year probably. They had indicated there were to be additional funding. They confirmed that for us that a couple of months ago. This is the documentation for that, $261,482 towards this overall project.
Do I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move we approve this resolution.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution accepting an airport modernization agreement from the Kansas Department of Transportation to construct airport utilities improvements for the Wellington Municipal Airport project. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Wetta?
Yes.
Mrs. Holly?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy?
Yes.
Mr. Butts?
Yes.
5 affirmative votes for Resolution 5836.
And Shane, I do think it's also important to point out that this is something that we have budgeted for.
Yes, well, this was planned, I mean, in the last 5 years, this was planned, has been discussed a number of times. This was the final, the major project in the 5-year plan, which was known. You know, the history again, I mean, the oil and gas money, the oil and gas lease money is what enabled the projects at the airport to be expedited. The money that received by the airport for that lease in 2011, I believe, that because it was on airport property, it is required by the FAA that money be used for airport projects. So that expedited some of these projects. We knew, or the council certainly was aware, made aware from that very beginning that this final stage of the project, there would not be funding available for that you would have to find either outside funding or finance the cost. Obviously, at that point in time, you know, the cost may have been higher than what we expected, but with the KDOT additional funding, it has reduced that to the $207,000.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. So, and again, as Mr. Wetta pointed out, it's just a heck of a deal. So our fifth and final resolution tonight is a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept an agreement with Pavers Incorporated of Salina, Kansas for the Wellington Municipal Airport project in the amount of a little less than $2.5 million.
This is the contract. I mean, we amended to add this. This came to us later on Friday. We didn't expect to receive it this quick, so we had to add it along with everything else. This is Pavers Incorporated out of Salina. Bids were opened on June 27th. Lochner was present to assist us with that. This was the lowest bid of I believe there were 5, received. It did come in slightly below the estimate, so that was a positive. Simply need approval to proceed with the agreement.
And again, this is all covered by our grant and everything.
Most of it. You know, the $207,000 will be financed. I mean,
That's all we're doing. Okay.
As you've directed, I mean, the intent is to roll this into the one issue with the Westboro Catholic College to save some financing costs, to roll that all into one.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion?
Sorry.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this fifth and final resolution authorizing our city manager to accept an agreement with Pavers Inc. of Salina for the Wellington Municipal Airport project in the amount of a little less than $2.5 million.
Mrs. Cordy?
Yes.
Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Wetta?
Yes.
Mrs. Hawley?
Yes.
5 affirmative votes, Resolution 5837.
I don't know that we could continue without saying a huge thank you to our former airport manager, Patrick Hamlin, and his dad for all that they have done to get us to this point. And Mr. Wiebe, Mr. Butts has heard wonderful things about you, and you're the guy going to take us to the future. So, and I know you're up for the challenge. So, thank you. And get her done. All right. We don't have any study items, but we do have some future agenda items. Mr. Shields.
We do have the special council meeting August 22nd. That's for the public hearing of the 2018 budget. It will be a special meeting, so again, the only thing that can be covered at that meeting is what we designate on the agenda at the special meeting. So if there are items you wish to place on that meeting beforehand, be sure and let me know ahead of time. Because it is not one of your regular meetings, so the only thing that can be covered is what's notified outside. 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah, 6:30, special meeting.
Council.
Yes. The other items are future resolutions on items, so nothing really to announce there.
Okay. Any other updates or anything else?
The Lincoln Place building, their inspection is scheduled for Thursday with the demo company. We had to work out an agreement with the property owner to the north for access to his building to be able to, the demo company needed to inspect The building, obviously, it's a 3-story compared to his 2-story, so that had to be worked out. So that agreement was finalized. Then initial inspection is scheduled for Thursday. I don't know if Director Jones had anything else to add to that. We'll see what that inspection brings.
Just basically one of the many steps in moving forward on that. We hope that that will get us to the final contract with the contractor.
So, best case, when do you expect this thing to be done?
Well, we don't have a firm date because the contractor needs to look at this adjoining.
Give me a guess. People are about,
They haven't given us anything. We're
2 weeks,
probably at least 2 months from starting.
2 months. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
From starting, are you saying it'll take them 2 months to remove the building?
2 months from moving in to begin the demolition process.
still quite a process. Because we also have to remember that there are other buildings that are needing to be considered and property owners. So that's why, we're not rushing hastily into just tearing this thing down. And I realize there's been nothing hasty about it, but we just want to remind everyone that there are buildings that are very close in proximity, and this is one of those things you don't want to get wrong, period. One more question. What about the geothermal wells that are going in? That looks pretty interesting.
That is proceeding. Dr. Jones, you have any specific?
Haven't been down there personally, but they've got the wells drilled. It does not look like they've connected the wells yet, and it's moving, but I don't know exactly how they are on their schedule.
Okay. Pretty cool stuff. I wish we could do it throughout the city.
Alley College, just giving an update on that. That will probably come to you at the September 5th meeting. Developers agreement, we met again with Callie this morning. Developers agreement is near finalization to bring to you, come to you for final approval. The petitions, obviously they submit petitions for the water, sewer, and electric. That will probably all come to you on the 5th. Their final plat goes to the Planning Commission on August 22nd also, so the plat will come to you. We expect all of that to come to you on September 5th. So.
All right. Anything else?
Don't believe so.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's been seconded that we adjourn this meeting of the Wellington City Council. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.